Here, top scorer for the Orange, first in the conference in assists, and Haley Gorecki, the junior captain for Duke, fifth in the conference in scoring. This is ACC College Hoops as we come inside historic Cameron Indoor Stadium for our matchup this afternoon. It is the Syracuse Orange, the number 13 team in the country, against the Duke Blue Devils, 9-9 on the season. It is so great to have you with us for our game this afternoon. Tom Wormy, along with former Wake Forest standout LaChina Robinson. And LaChina, just like that, we're about halfway through the ACC portion of this schedule. Both of these teams, a recent stumble, big game for both today.
Yeah, Tom, it's that time in the ACC season where the margin for error gets very small. And both teams have had to move pieces around in recent games because of injury. But you're right, it's an important game because of momentum moving forward. Time for those starting lineups, the Toyota starting lineups, and we start with the Syracuse Orange. We showed you Tiana Mangakahia, a fixture in that starting lineup, but Miranda Drummond is back in after an injury earlier in the week in practice. She missed the game against Miami. It was the first game in 49 games that they had a different starting lineup, but Drummond is back in there. And for the Duke Blue Devils, their starting lineup includes Liana Odom, the junior, 6'2", forward. Had 20 points in the win against Wake Forest on Thursday. That was a game high for Odom. And LaChina, she was 9 of 10 from the floor shooting. Well, she's been fantastic, having to take over the point guard position, which Odom has not had to do that so far in her career. But due to injury, she's thrusted into that spot. She has really thrived with the basketball in her hands. Duke put an end to a 5-game losing streak on Thursday at home with a win against Wake Forest, 66-52. They're in the white and blue, and they will start with the basketball. They shot 54% against the Deacons on Thursday. That tied a season high for shooting percentage in a game for the Blue Devils. Gorecki misfires on her first opportunity. It's the orange and the gray running it up, Mangakahia. Three-point attempt is a miss from Stratmana. Orange trying to preserve a second chance at it, over and back as Mangakahia touches up. We will see a lot of zone from both of these teams. Syracuse, because that's just what they do. Their 2-3 zone is what they play. For Duke, we will see matchup. We may see some 2-3. That's their best defense because of personnel. They're able to use their length to defend. Gorecki, one dribble and all net. Leading scorer for the Blue Devils, almost 17 points per game for Gorecki. Fifth in the ACC. She also averages over 6 rebounds per game. The Orange will shoot high-volume three-pointers. Nobody shoots more or makes more on the season and per game than the Syracuse Orange. Drummond. Syracuse keeps it alive for a second opportunity. Stratmana rattles out. Work on the boards by Finkley. Basket and foul for Syracuse. One of the biggest challenges today for Duke will be on the glass, as Syracuse just had too many opportunities in that possession. Looking at the three ball, as you mentioned, Tom, because that is what they do. But Finkley here with a very good rebound. And the thing about Duke and what they have not done on the glass in ACC play, -7 rebound margin. And when you're not shooting the ball, you need those extra opportunities. Maya Finkley, the sophomore from Dorchester, Massachusetts, with the three-point play, is a 65% free throw shooter. And you see Syracuse picking up in their 1-2-2. When they're scoring the basketball, they can bring the pressure. They like to force turnovers, make teams play fast, and take time off of the shot clock. Duke 9-9 on the season, 1-5 in conference play. Gorecki's pass bounces out of bounds, and Jade Williams couldn't grab it. Turnover for Duke. Orange trying to snap a 2-game losing streak. Lost on Wednesday at home to Miami, 84-71. They struggled from three-point distance, just 5 of 32 in that game, and that computes to just 16%. They're going inside to Finkley once again. Finkley doing a really good job of using her body to get position inside the zone. Lost a shoe there, but is able to get back and recover.
Finkley's got 5 early points, and Gorecki with a 3-ball for Duke. She's also got 5. In fact, it's Finkley 5, Gorecki 5 here in the first quarter.
Yeah, that shot will be open against that Syracuse zone. And Gorecki's coming off her most efficient game of the season in their win against Wake Forest.
Gorecki was 5 of 9 from the floor in that win against Wake with 14 points. Finkley goes to Drummond in the corner. The fight on the weak side, it goes out of bounds and will stay with the orange. Quentin Hillsman is the head coach for Syracuse in his 13th season. Has done incredible things with this program, but as we told you, they will put up the 3-ball. And he is not overly concerned whether they make or miss. He wants to get the volume, although they are 0 for 5 from beyond the arc in the first quarter.
Yeah, shooting 29% in league play. And he does not want his players overthinking their shooting because that's what they do. They shoot the 3. It's part of their system. And he said it has to start going down, and that's a good place to start with his point guard, Tiana Manakahia.
So Manakahia, the junior from Brisbane, Australia, is into the box score. 51 straight starts in that lineup for the Orange from Manakahia. They defended it well, and here she comes with the basketball leading the break. It's another 3 for Syracuse. Lewis has this one, and a timeout on the court. The Orange knocking down a couple of threes. 11-5. Quentin Hillsman, not time to panic just yet in Syracuse.
These are the moments that I know that I feel good because everybody looking here like, what's wrong? And it's fantastic because 11 years ago, when nobody's saying what's wrong, we were like 7 and 12. It was almost like we wanted to have a parade down Erie Boulevard, you know? This is fantastic. When we played Georgia Tech last game, and they're celebrating and they're jumping and they're chest bumping on the 4th game of the conference. That's big. Played at Drexel. A couple years ago, they stormed the floor. I've never been involved in a store. You know, somebody storming the floor. I stayed out there and I wanted to run me over. That's a big difference than where we were. We're gonna be all right, don't worry. Everybody get their tickets. Everybody get everything for March. We going to the tournament. So get ready. We're gonna be good. Don't worry. You get some free trips, don't worry. I got you, buddy.
He says you're going to be all right. They've gone to the NCAA tournament 6 straight years, and he fully expects them to be right back there despite the 2-game losing streak.
Well, and Quentin Hillsman has done a great job over that 11 years of building a non-conference schedule that's competitive, that's put them in position to make the NCAA tournament. I mean, they played Oregon, ranked Oregon team, and DePaul, Texas A&M, Minnesota. So that has really given Syracuse a chance to build their NCAA tournament resume, and there is an expectation that they'll be there. But I love that he says, hey guys, don't panic. That's a very good Georgia Tech team. It's a very good Miami team.
No panic from Goodchild out of the corner for 3 for Duke. As we play in the first quarter from Cameron Indoor Stadium. In traffic, the spin and the travel. Jaldi Topdi turns it over.
That's a couple of turnovers for Jaldi Topdi. And it looks like she's going to come out of the game. Oftentimes, freshmen don't get as much leeway in that situation. You got to come down, come out of the game, calm down a little bit, and just regain your composure.
Yeah, she's a redshirt freshman from Paris, France. Sat out last year. Duke is 6-2 at home this season, 1-2 in conference play on this floor. They shot 44% from beyond the arc in the win against Wake on Thursday. 8 of 18. They are 9-9 on the year. Keep in mind, last year they made it all the way to the Sweet 16 before losing to UConn in the postseason tournament. Trying to improve on that rebounding margin, but the steals, a lot of those come from Haley Gorecki, almost 3 per game, and that's second best in the ACC. For Gorecki, known as a scorer, does it defensively as well.
It's been a challenge for Duke in recent games, having to retool their lineup and their entire system after losing Boykin, no Lambert, no true point guard right now for the Blue Devils. And this Syracuse team is the last team you really want to see when you don't have a true point guard because of the way that they come at you defensively. You've got to make good reads and also to get good shots. But Duke doing a good job early in this one so far.
That offensive foul was on Engstler. Gorecki, little bit of daylight. This one's off the mark. Lewis brings it up. Back to Lewis. Tried to pass it in the paint, but a travel.
So a few turnovers here in recent possessions for the Orange, but it allows them to still get their defense set. So that is a good sign for Quentin Hillsman's team, that it's not turnovers that are getting Duke off and running early in their offense, which we've seen teams do against Syracuse in their recent losses. They have not been as good defensively as Quentin Hillsman would like.
Yeah, you're talking about Syracuse losses. That loss against Miami at the Dome was the first at home this season for the Orange. And unfortunately for Duke, Michaela Boykin, the redshirt freshman, on that bench with the knee injury. Suffered January 17th against Miami, had surgery on January 22nd, and out for the season.
Yeah, really sad to see. I mean, she had already missed 361 days on the court from a previous ACL injury suffered December 10th, 2017. I mean, just a tough break for Boykin and for Duke.
Work on the offensive glass by Stroutmana after the miss by Sissoko. All right, let's take a look at our Hardy's star to watch. It is Liana Odom of the Duke Blue Devils.
Well, she's shooting 71% over her last 2 games, back-to-back 20-point games. And that's what we've wanted to see from Liana Odom. She has great versatility, can play 1 through 4. And Joanne P. McCauley has needed that because of the injuries that we just talked about. She needed to use Odom in some different places on the floor to keep this team moving.
Odom has gotten to double digits in scoring in 5 straight games. That was Stroutmana at the free throw line for the Orange. They're one of the better free throw shooting teams in all of the conference, 76% as a team, and 3rd in the ACC. Closing in on 3 minutes to go in our first quarter of play. Orange in front, 12-8. Gorecki's 3 out of the corner goes out of bounds, and it will be Orange basketball.
One thing that Joanne P. McCauley talked to us about today was she wanted to slow the pace of this game. So you're going to see Duke run the shot clock down to get good shots. She said, I don't even care if the shot clock expires. We can't have live ball turnovers against Syracuse and allow them to make this an up and down game. And so far, the pace of this game really favors Duke.
Coach McCauley's in her 12th season, over 300 wins as the head coach of the Blue Devils, and 10 times to the NCAA tournament. Side of the rim on the attempt from Goodchild. Potential breakout for the Orange, and a foul is called. Denise Brooks, Darryl Humphrey, Dawn Marsh, our officiating crew for our game this afternoon. Goodchild picks up her first personal foul. So Sissoko at the free throw line. She was in the starting lineup for Drummond in that game against Miami on Wednesday. Her first start. Drummond had a calf injury at practice, but was back into the starting lineup this afternoon for Quentin Hillsman of the Orange.
Yeah, and Hillsman said, listen, we miss Drummond. I can't lie. I mean, she's one of our best shooters. She can light it up from long range, and the defense started to shrink in. Great job by Miami, but they took all the confidence out of Syracuse three-point shot, and they couldn't spread the floor like they really like to without Drummond. So tough position for Sissoko to be in as a freshman to try to fill in for Drummond, but she is back after that freak incident that you mentioned, Tom.
Yeah, Syracuse just 16% from three-point distance in the loss against Miami. Prior to the win against Wake on Thursday, Duke hadn't won since December 30th, and now they've turned it over again. Manakahia across midcourt. Off the glass, no good. From Lewis. Strautmana got her own miss. Monikahia stumbles down. A couple of Duke players converge. It is a hell ball situation, but the arrow will favor the orange. Monikahia with 3 points so far in our first quarter of play. Monikahia this season, as Duke will make some changes. How about that game against North Carolina on January 13th? A triple-double. 34 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. Turnover. Good child. All the way to the rim.
And that's the only kind of quick shot Joanne P. McCauley wants to see, is a wide open shot or a layup at the rim.
Syracuse misses a layup. That score from Goodchild snapped a string of 5 straight misses from the floor for Duke, and they've got it back. Another chance to cut into the Syracuse lead with 1:20 to go in our first quarter. Pass kept alive by Goodchild. Tried to go low on the entry past Aroma. She couldn't handle it.
Well, Goodchild has had an outstanding season from long range for Duke, but here we see her defense and her ability to get to the rim using that length. 5'10", shooting the gap.
Drummond has a 3. Syracuse had not made a field goal since the 6:28 mark, and Drummond comes up with the 3, and she is into the box score. First 3 points of the game for Drummond. Short shot off the back iron from Williams. Right back to Gorecki down the lane. She also too strong, but got her own rebound. Gorecki for 2. And 7 points in the first quarter for Gorecki. Drummond made a 3 last trip down the floor for the Orange. That's now 193 career three-pointers for Miranda Drummond, the senior from Binghamton, New York. Final seconds of the first quarter. Monikahia gets the instruction. Trying to drive against 3 Duke defenders. The shot never gets up on the rim, and that'll end the first quarter. It's a 5-point lead after the first quarter. Syracuse. Duke is 478 and 125 in historic Cameron Indoor Stadium, which opened back in 1940, and the women's program started playing here in 1975. Ready to start the second quarter between Duke and Syracuse. It was a thriller last year between these two teams at the Dome, and a win for the Syracuse Orange. So Duke opens up the scoring here in the second quarter. Syracuse trying to work on the interior. Jaldi Tabdi unsuccessful with the shot attempt. Williams. Run down by Odom. Fresh shot clock. Williams trying to work through that double team, and Goodchild to help out. Couldn't get it over the front rim. Monikahia averaging over 16 points per game and almost 8 assists per game. Best in the conference, second best in the entire country. She had 12 points in the loss against Miami. That is Drummond out of the corner for another 3.
You can see that Drummond is starting to get into a rhythm from the three-point line. But what has impressed me most about Syracuse offense is they've gone inside. They've gone inside to Finkley. They've gotten some points in the paint. So Duke is having to respect both the inside and outside game right now of the Syracuse Orange.
Syracuse with the edge on the board, 16-4 after the first quarter, and 9 offensive rebounds. Shot clock was winding down, and a foul is called on the play as Jaldi Tabdi, number 3 in gray and orange, was defending. They're going to give the foul to Drummond, and that'll be her first. Williams at the free throw line, 60% of the season. Sophomore from the Colony, Texas. Had a double-double earlier this season against Florida Gulf Coast. 17 points, 11 boards, both of those career highs for Jade Williams, who averages 7.5 points per game for Duke. Orange working inside again. Finkley taking away Gorecki.
Good interior defense that time by Williams.
Off on the wing, the three-point attempt. Adams. And another rebound for Duke to keep it alive. Odom's done that a couple of times early in this quarter.
Yeah, increased energy on the glass from Duke. You mentioned coming out of that first quarter how Syracuse had dominated, where Joanne P. McCauley had a talking to with her team, because you can tell there's an emphasis of getting on the glass.
Monacahia just picked up the personal foul. That's her first.
And it's hard to offensive rebound in those situations. So you got to credit Duke for how they've gotten to the glass despite not really having a low block presence in their offense.
Uphill climb for the Blue Devils, who started the ACC schedule 0-5 for the first time since 1992-93. That'll help Gorecki with a three ball. She's got 12 points as we play in the second quarter. Syracuse again trying to work it inside. Finkley misses. Odom showing off the dribbling skills and the mid-range just inside the free throw line. Odom's jumper has tied us at 20. Again, the Orange try to work the interior out of bounds, and back to Duke. 8th turnover for Syracuse.
You can feel the energy and the confidence for Duke starting to build as they've hit shots. They've struggled from the field in ACC play, but Gorecki and Odom both taking advantage of the three-point line against the Syracuse zone, but also some transition game. Odom using that length and size in the mid-range game.
40% so far from the floor for Duke. Syracuse did lead by 7 at one point in this first half, but the Blue Devils have come back to tie it and a chance to take the lead. Odom with the change of direction. Gorecki's pass intercepted, and now it rolls into the backcourt off of Syracuse and saved by Gorecki. Adams directing a little bit of traffic.
Duke is running an overload on the side of that Syracuse zone, which is how they've gotten a lot of threes from that corner.
Williams was that close to giving Duke the lead, tried to save it. Monacahia dribbles away with it. Monacahia going all the way by herself with the scoop. Stroutman came in to save it. Monacahia, sharp cut to the basket, and she was fouled.
Well, Haley Gorecki came into this game, and you could tell that she had her offensive confidence with her, hitting some outside shots against the Syracuse zone, which is so important for your team's confidence. And here she is on the drive, which is where I don't think she gets enough credit in her game, is how tough she is going to the rim. She can take contact, drive the basketball, is a good decision maker, and she has had to do so much for Duke this season because of those injuries, because of their youth. This is a very young Blue Devil team when you look at the starts in the ACC, the second youngest team in the league.
Couple of three-pointers in the first half for Gorecki. 1 of 2 from the line for Monacahia. She is the top free throw shooter in the conference at 89%. Odom trying to slip behind the Syracuse defense.
Duke is moving against the zone, and that is why they've been able to get some looks on offense, and their patience. Another time, the shot clock running down, but they're working to get good shots.
Monacahia, Stroutman filling the lane. It spins off the rim, goes out of bounds, and the officials award the basketball to Duke.
Some easy missed opportunities. So you see Stroutman disappointed in herself there, because when you're on the road, you have to get your easy baskets, your layups, your free throws. Got to make them.
Syracuse just one of its last 7 field goal attempts, and Strautmane has just a single point so far. Gorecki around the defender, and Duke has the lead. It's first since it led early in the game, 2-0. Orange trying to take it right back. High degree of difficulty on the shot from Jaldi Tabdi. Whistle stops play, and it's going against the Orange. By the way, when we come back, Shamika Holzclaw is going to join us. A very special initiative today. She'll talk about it when we come back. Duke, Shamika Holzclaw, the 3-time NCAA champ from Tennessee, part of Mental Wealth Day, featuring some workshops on relevant mental health topics and mindfulness training. And she was kind enough to give us some of her time today. And Shamika, first of all, welcome to our broadcast position here at Cameron Indoor Stadium.
Oh, thanks for having me.
And tell us about the day, being able to meet the folks here on campus today.
It was awesome. I just wanted to support Coach. She said this was a big initiative of hers, and I've been impacted by this. My dad lives with schizophrenic disorder. I've had my challenges, so I know how important it is to go out there and just spread awareness.
Shamika, mental health affects everyone, but athletes in particular. What have you learned about how athletes are dealing, or maybe not dealing, with some mental health issues in your travels?
Right. I have a lot of opportunities. I'm speaking at a lot of schools, and I connect really well with the athletes. And the thing is, they're going through a great deal of stress. The fans are after them. They have to go out there and make good grades as students, and social media and stuff like that. They have a lot more on their plate, and so I just really encourage them to get the help that they need. They want to be total people at the end of the day, and so I see a lot more reaching out, a lot more getting the help that they need.
And what are some of the resources maybe that are overlooked that student athletes can use when they need it?
Right now, most colleges and universities have someone specifically in the sports department to help these student athletes. So I always tell them, take advantage of your resources, because you don't want to go out into the world. Therapy is expensive. So you see a lot more athletes utilizing the services.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about watching this game today and the skills on display, not only in the ACC, but across the nation, and how women's basketball has just taken off on the national scene.
I see the young ladies out there. Definitely athleticism has changed. They're playing really above the rim, a lot of these players, and the quickness, and I've enjoyed that. I was with the Duke players yesterday. We were out there getting us some shots and stuff, and I was like, they're great shooters, but today I'm yelling, ladies, come on, rebound the basketball. Like, rebound. You're so close and you're in the game. But a great group of young ladies. They had a lot of questions to ask, and I know they've been hurting this year with those knee injuries.
Sure.
So 3-point guards out. I'm like, hey, keep pushing forth, and this is going to build character. Just keep at it.
I think it's amazing. There are very few athletes overall who are as decorated as you, with your NCAA championships, a gold medal, you're playing the WNBA. When you reflect back on all of that, how lucky do you consider yourself?
Oh, I'm very, very, very lucky. On top of all the accolades, I had great mentorship with Coach Pat Summitt, and just the sisterhood we built at Tennessee, the sisterhood of basketball, period, and how it's helped shape my life. You know what I'm saying? It's at times it can be really, frustrating. It's just sisters,
Yeah.
But to grow up older and just know that you always supporting each other is special.
Yeah, I'm curious, when we talk about mental wealth, I think one of the things that I hear most often is that people don't want to share what they're going through. Why is that, and how can we be more supportive or even more aware of people around us that may be facing mental health challenges?
First of all, people in general hate to be judged, and then you throw in socioeconomic status, cultural issues. Just people say, hey, what happens in your household stays in your household. People have their own stigma towards it, but I think the way we're changing this now is changing the conversation. You know what I'm saying? And we always know sports heals, sports changes the world. So when you have athletes like Kevin Love stand up and say, hey, you know what? We all have our challenges. We're all dealing with these things. I have to tell these kids, just because you're going through stress and maybe seasonal issues doesn't mean that you have mental illness. It's a fear. Mental illness, unfortunately, they think crazy or this, but no, it's about getting back on balance, mind, body, and spirit.
Yeah.
Shamika, that's a wonderful message, and we appreciate everything that you have done here today on campus, and I think Duke appreciates you wearing that shirt as well.
We got to get this on record.
Even though you won 3 national championships with Tennessee, and your career did
end with Duke.
you end with Duke in Greensboro, yes. But you still got the 3, and you're wearing the Duke shirt today.
Oh, yes, definitely great
It is
cause.
such an honor for us to have you with us here at our broadcast position during this game today.
Thank you so much.
And best of luck with everything.
Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you for your courage, and sharing your story. Just so good to see you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for what you're doing.
Wonderful to have a basketball superstar with us today, Shamika Holzclaw. And what a career, and she continues to impact lives through basketball, and especially here on the Duke campus this afternoon with the Mental Wealth Day and the awareness of mental health issues. So we thank Shamika. We return to live action with 1:44 to go in our second quarter. How about that, though, LaChina?
It's really incredible, Tom, because what Shamika talked about is Duke and back-to-back baskets, Odom in transition, but mental health awareness, mental wealth is something that affects us all. And it's great to see Shamika using her platform to do something special, especially for these student athletes.
In the meantime, Duke has built its largest lead of the game, 26-21, LaChina.
It starts with the defense, and Adams right here shooting the gap, gets out in transition, and smart decision for Liana Odom. Look at how Odom is running the floor. There was once a point this season where we did not see that extra effort by Liana Odom. She was struggling in her shooting and really down on her game. I love how she's picked her energy up just when her team needs it in a time when they're down a player or two because of injury. Just really like the way this young woman is playing.
Duke has gone on a 12-1 run to take a 5-point lead as we go around the ACC. News and notes. And we start with the Louisville Cardinals, number 4 in the nation, and 4 straight wins.
Yeah, I mean, Jeff Walls has his team playing well. And if you have not seen Asia Durr, #night-night. I mean, she makes getting buckets look like the easiest job anyone has ever had. And Wes Moore's team just continuing to fight. They are getting ready to hit a challenging stride in their ACC schedule. So they will be really challenged, and we'll find out exactly how good the Wolfpack really is. Short-handed, Wes Moore is number 1 on my list right now for National and ACC Coach of the Year honors.
19-0 for the Pack, 6-0 in conference play. We saw them inside Reynolds Coliseum a week ago in overtime against Virginia Tech to stay perfect. Only team in major college basketball, men or women. And Notre Dame, number 1 in the country today, is on the road at North Carolina. Shot clock is winding down. Shot clock violation against the Orange.
Coming into this game, we had a couple of questions because Duke had confidence after beating Wake Forest, so they got an ACC win, and wondering if that confidence would carry over. And then Syracuse was lost 2 games in a row. Does this ranked team have enough to pick itself up on the road? And when you look at this low-scoring game, it favors Duke. Syracuse has not been able to get into the offensive rhythm that we were used to seeing when they were having success in non-conference and in league play.
Montecahia had a potential steal. Shot clock is down to 2 for Duke. Did they get the shot away? They did, but the shot did not hit the rim. It's a shot clock violation against Duke. So back and forth, and now the ball back to the Orange with 30 seconds to go.
And that's a situation where you are missing Boykin, when you are missing Lambert, a true point guard, someone with awareness of what's happening at the clock.
How about Syracuse in the second quarter? Just 1 for 12 from the floor and 15 seconds to go. Stroutman, a turnaround, missed it, and the foul is against the Orange as Gorecki got pushed out of the paint. Drummond picks up the foul for the Orange. Syracuse has only scored 4 points in the quarter. And if that's what they end up with, that would be a season low for the Orange, although Duke has thrown it away with 6.8 seconds on the clock.
And Syracuse had the right idea. Only 14 seconds left. They tried to take some time off the clock by picking up in that 3-quarter court defense, and they got the turnover as a result.
Orange hadn't made a field goal since the 8:48 mark of this quarter. Montecahia will not get it away. No shot chance at the end of the quarter for the Orange. So Duke storms ahead, 26-21 for Joanne P. McCauley and the Duke Blue Devils. They've got the 5-point lead. Defended the Orange well in the second quarter and put points on the board. Halftime is straight ahead from Cameron Indoor Stadium. Duke up 26-21, moments away from the start of our third quarter. Syracuse with its 21 points, the lowest output in a half this season for the Orange. As we play inside Cameron Indoor Stadium, Tom Wormy along with LaChina Robinson, former standout at Wake Forest. We were joined by Shamika Holsclaw in the first half. Incredible interview with her.
Great defense by Duke to start the quarter, really covering up Tiana Manakahia with their length. And she's a player to watch as Gorecki gets fouled going to the rim. But Manakahia is the engine that makes Syracuse's offense go. And she has struggled in the last 2 games and is struggling once again this afternoon against Duke. She has 0 assists. And this is a player that had the most assists in NCAA women's basketball last season. And so she delivers the basketball, and she's had trouble doing that against Duke's size and how they've moved and covered up space this afternoon.
You see Drummond coming out of the game. She just picked up her 3rd personal foul. Quick word of encouragement from Quentin Hillsman with Gorecki at the free throw line. She's the only player in our game into double figures. She's got 16. And Gorecki has hit double figures for the 17th time this season for Duke, a consistent scorer in that lineup, Haley Gorecki.
And Tom, Drummond has hit 2 of Syracuse's 4 3-point baskets, so that's a big loss with her going to the bench with that foul trouble.
Finkley lost the handle on the pass from Stropmana. 3-on-1 chance for Duke, and it's an easy 2 and a layup as Gorecki had the assist. The good child, she's got 7. Good child, the freshman from Queensland, Australia. And Duke's lead is now 9. At one point in the first quarter, Syracuse led by 7. But they shot just 2 of 17 on 2-point field goal attempts in the first half.
Yeah, I think we needed to go ahead and just put the basketball up. But back to the Blue Devil defense. What is it that Haley Gorecki has not done for her team this afternoon, including a little no-look? I don't know if that counts, Tom. It was like a half no-look, but it's a good child for the easy basket.
6 rebounds as well for Gorecki. It's going to be Syracuse basketball.
We were talking about Rebecca Greenwell at the half, and Gorecki reminds me a bit of Greenwell in terms of the number of ways she can contribute to a game. Assists, rebound, scoring. She can do a little bit of everything.
Syracuse did not score in the last 8:48 of the second quarter. Have not scored so far in the third quarter. They're working around for a 3 out of the corner and another miss.
And you can tell that Syracuse does not have a lot of confidence in their 3-ball right now. Gabby Cooper, that's what she does. However, 0 for 2 from long range this afternoon.
Now, Cooper's made 41 on the season and attempted over 100, but there you see the run from the Blue Devils. It's up to 16-1. Closed out the second quarter on a 12-1 run to take a 5-point halftime lead. And Duke has not seen a lot of success against ranked teams this season. They're 0-4 against ranked opponents, and they've lost 6 in a row. Syracuse qualifies. They're number 13 in the country. Slapped away. Good child. Well defended by Manakahia, who got back defensively. But a foul on the Orange.
When we talked to Quentin Hillsman about runouts, because Syracuse has been hurt in their recent losses by teams who are getting those long rebounds because they shoot a lot of threes and getting out and running in transition, and Q's not able to get back and recover. And even when they are, it's usually Manakahia, Cooper, when they're smaller players, and it's tough to contest at the rim.
Duke as a team struggles from the free throw line, just 64% of the season. Syracuse in this game, LaChina, shooting 19%. They have struggled in their 2 previous games against Miami, just 36% from the floor. And against Georgia Tech, also a loss, 24% from the floor.
And you got to credit the activity on the front of the zone, that time a 2-3 zone from Duke. We saw a lot of that last year where Lexi Brown would get a lot of steals. And, you know, you think a Duke is a zone is a laid-back defense, but how you play that front and how you contest and how you use that length. I mean, look at Adams, how she's spread, taking away Monakahia's vision.
Monakahia, no look into the corner. Lewis, nifty dribbling, couldn't finish the play. Work on the offensive glass for the Orange and a much-needed basket. Jaldi Tabdi up and in, and a free throw coming.
Much-needed basket off of an offensive rebound, and that's what Syracuse is going to have to do. They're not making shots. It's going to be about the blue-collar baskets, getting to the free throw line, points off turnovers, which Syracuse is usually much better at manufacturing offense from their defense. They have not done that. So all the little things when your offense isn't working.
3 fouls now on Williams. She exits the ball game. Jaldi Tabdi completes the three-point play. She's a double-digit scorer, averages just over 10 points per game, and is the leading rebounder for the Orange. 5.5 rebounds per game. Monakahia on the turnover. Looking for three. Cooper misfires. Jaldi Tabdi sent it right back to her. Now Lewis wants a three. She hits it. And a timeout, Duke. So a three-point play from Jaldi Tabdi, and Lewis ripping the ropes with a three-pointer of her own. SEC women's basketball from the Duke University campus this Sunday afternoon. Tiana Monakahia, one of the top players in the conference and in the nation, averaging over 16 per game to lead the Orange, but she has struggled today. Just 4 points in total from Monakahia.
0 assists at halftime, despite leading the ACC in that category. But her last 2 games, she's 0 for 8 from three-point land, 11 turnovers, 6 for 24 from the field. So she is in a drought, and she does so much for Syracuse. She's a tremendous player, but this is when you find out what your supporting cast is all about.
She's made her one and only three-point chance in this game. Duke led by as many as 10. Gorecki going up with it. Held ball situation, and the arrow favors Duke.
One thing we talked about in the first half, Tom, was the pace of the game and how it favored Duke. Syracuse has got to find a way, either with their defensive pressure or just some way to get this game moving a little faster. This could be a good opportunity.
Does not have the numerical advantage. Makes the prudent play and resets for the Orange.
I would also like to see Kiera Lewis get more involved in offense because she can create her own shot. And how about the interior attack?
Jaldi Tabdi for 2.
I was headed there, Tom. But you sound so eloquent when you say it.
Inside of 6 minutes to go in our third quarter. And the Orange crawling right back in this one after trailing by 10. And they went almost 11.5 minutes from the second quarter to the third quarter without a field goal. And yet here they are trailing 31-29, and they're going to get the ball back.
And turnovers hurting Duke right now. But Jaldi Tabdi using that big body down low. We've talked about the three-point shooting of Syracuse, but if they can utilize that balance that we saw early from Finkley, get some high percentage looks in the paint, take the pressure off of your offense.
Yeah, Jaldi Tabdi shoots 58% from the floor on the season and becoming a factor here in this third quarter. Out of the corner, fouled on the three-point shot. Chance for the four-point play. Odom's going to pick up the foul, and Lewis is going to the line.
Kiera Lewis is the player we just talked about. Good ball movement. Odom gets there, but not quite in time to contest. And after the shot was released, officials called a foul, so it must have been something on the body.
So Lewis finishes off the play. And Syracuse now leads 33-31. Ball out of bounds. And back to the Orange.
5 turnovers for the Duke Blue Devils in the third quarter alone.
The run is now 12-0 Syracuse. Over the last 2 minutes and change. And again out of that corner. Lewis. Third three of the ball game. 15-0 run Orange. This is answering a Duke run of 17-1 earlier in the game. Gorecki trying to go all the way to the basket. And she was fouled. A couple of free throws coming for Gorecki.
And Duke needed that. 5 turnovers in the first 5 minutes of this quarter.
So with exactly 5 minutes to go in the quarter, Lewis, 2 threes, LaChina.
Yeah, lighten it up from long range from Lewis. Much needed for the Syracuse.
That's a career high. She comes out of the corner for this one.
Well, she's made herself comfortable. The corner three is the hardest to get to in the zone. We saw Owen have to go from ball to ball. No one pushed her down. And then here, you have to come out from the bottom of the zone, which is a ways to travel all the way out to the three-point line. And so Lewis has gotten comfortable there. And the one thing about this Duke zone, it's good with their length because they cover space, but they're not as mobile because they have so many bigs having to come out and contest on the three-point line with a Syracuse team that likes to spread the floor.
13 points for Lewis, leading the way for the Orange, the only player in double-figure scoring for Syracuse. Gorecki now up to 17 points. And she's the only double-digit scorer for Duke.
And what a start for Syracuse in that third quarter. Let's see if Duke can get some of that momentum back.
Jaldi Tabdi, 3 defenders, loses control.
Jaldi Tabdi was another reason why Kiera Lewis got that open three, because she's been active on the interior. The defense really paying a lot of attention to her on the inside.
Last field goal for Duke in this quarter coming at the 9:01 mark. Strautmana able to grab it after the miss from Williams. Manakadia. Jaldi Tabdi is open. 7 points for Jaldi Tabdi. 6-point Orange lead after trailing by 5 at halftime. 16th turnover for Duke. 10-second violation. Couldn't get it across midcourt, and the ball back to the Orange. The tide of this game has turned dramatically in the third quarter. Jaldi Tabdi again calculates the angle for 2.
She has given Syracuse a boost, using her size and efficiency to get high percentage looks. It's taking pressure off the three, but when they're guarding her, the three is open, like we saw from Lewis earlier on.
Duke outscored the Orange 14-4 in the second quarter. The third quarter now belonging to Syracuse, their largest lead of the day at 8. Williams off the glass. Orange now 7 of 17 from three-point distance as we close in on the 3-minute mark in the third quarter. They want another 3. They won't get it this time from Cooper. They will keep it alive. Manakahia, nifty little bounce pass inside. Lewis for 2 and a layup. It looked like Lewis ran into Gorecki for the foul.
Jaldi Tabdi on the inside for Syracuse. 2 feet in the paint. May have gotten away with a little bit of a hold there, but look at how she uses the glass. Good angling. A little bit of a hook shot almost, and then on the inside again. But this time, the nifty interior pass from Tiana Manakahia.
Gorecki's at the free throw line with both teams in the bonus with 2:50 to go. Jaldi Tabdi leaves the game. Productive quarter for Jaldi Tabdi. 9 points in total, and she's 4 of 6 from the floor.
Quentin Hillsman telling us today we haven't even seen what Jaldi Tabdi can do because she's got an outside shot to go along with that inside presence. So she'll be fun to watch throughout her career. Duke doing a better job on that back side of the zone, covering up Lewis.
Monacahia, shot clock winding down, and she drives all the way to the basket.
And that's what opened up the gap. Because you've got to be aware of Lewis in that corner, Tiana Monacahia had that drive right to the rim. And speaking of drive to the rim, Haley Gorecki, aggressive in transition.
She's up to 20 points now, as Gorecki had the answer at the other end. Inside of 2 minutes to go in this quarter. Monacahia with that last basket, LaChina up to 6 points in the game. But is the leading scorer for Syracuse on the season.
Syracuse has gotten a lift in this third quarter. Because of the increased three-point efficiency in the third quarter, she finds a seam and then right back at you. Gorecki has been putting her head down and finding a way to tough herself to the rim.
How about 7 times this season for Gorecki, 20 points or more in a game. Another three, and it's Lewis.
Great call by Quentin Hillsman, moving Lewis around against that zone, using her offensive confidence from long range.
18 points and a career high for Lewis. 5 made threes, also a career high. Gorecki straightaway three bounces out. Monacahia brings it up for the Orange. Finkley off the glass.
No answer for the interior game of the Syracuse Orange in this third quarter.
Syracuse absolute night and day from the second quarter to here in the third now.
Kiera Lewis had a career high in Syracuse's loss to Miami. Well, how about another career high, this time 18 points, hitting a long-range shot, giving her team just the boost they needed.
Syracuse basketball with 52.9 on the clock and turnover number 17. Orange shooting 69% this quarter, 11 of 16 after shooting just 20% from the floor in the first half. Cooper. Monacahia. Stratmana tees up the three.
It's contagious. Missing shots is contagious, but so is making shots, Tom.
Odom driving all the way to the rim. Odom's got 6 now for Duke. Final 10 seconds. Monacahia. Three-point attempt at the horn. It's about the only thing that didn't go in for Lewis.
You start the game, it's how you adjust, and it wasn't a great start for Syracuse in that first half, but at halftime, they got a little bit of their swag back, a little bit of their confidence, and once you start hitting shots and you're a team that thrives on the three-point basket, it's amazing how the rest of the team can catch on. But don't forget about the paint points, because Syracuse established themselves in the lane, which I thought took pressure off of the long ball.
In the midst of that third quarter, the Orange went on a 15-0 run and have the 52-39 lead opening moments of the fourth quarter. So glad that you're with us for women's basketball in the ACC. The one and only meeting in the regular season between these two programs. Syracuse won the meeting between the teams at the Carrier Dome last season. Whistle stops play as Finkley attempted the shot. It's going to be 4 on Odom now, LaChina.
And this is not a deep Duke team. I mean, we talked to Joanne P. McCauley today, and she said we have our Super 8. She's only going about 8 deep, not very experienced. Players playing out of position. And Odom, because she's taken over so much of the ball handling, is an important piece to their offensive attack.
Boykin sidelined with that injury, had recent surgery on that leg. And unavailable this season for Duke. This is the 8th all-time meeting between the teams. Duke holds a 5-2 lead. And they have not lost to the Orange here at Cameron Indoor Stadium. 2-0 in the previous meetings. Cooper with the steal.
Remember how patient we talk about Duke being against Syracuse's defense. We're not seeing that, which is causing a lot of their turnovers. You got to be willing to work the ball around. And again, even run late in the shot clock, but get a good shot and definitely don't turn it over.
18 turnovers in the game for Duke. Finkley missed in close. Gurecki emerges from the pack. Determined to get to the bucket, and she does it.
Crafty. Toughness.
Gurecki now with 22 points, leading scorer for Duke. As she has been on the season, that's well above her season average of 16.7 points per game, 5th in the conference. Orange teeing up another 3. That was Lewis. He's made 5 of them. Stratmana with a recycled shot clock on the offensive glass. Deflected. That's off of Duke. 16 on the shot clock.
We've watched Haley Gurecki do this the entire game, and the scouting report is out on Syracuse because teams are starting to really run the ball down their throats, coming off of some of those long misses, and they're not getting back in transition defense quickly enough.
Shot clock is at 5. Monacahia trying to create. Around 3 defenders. Dropped it off to Cooper. Chance for Finkley. Stratmana there as well. The ball comes back in the hands of Monacahia, and the shot clock again now with 20.
Syracuse is setting that high ball screen against the zone for Tiana Monacahia, but they're not getting anything out of it because Duke is covering ground really well. They need some other players that can get into the gap and use the high post position.
Finkley drew the double, stripped away by Gurecki. She has a double-double today with 22 points and 10 rebounds. 4th of the season and 5th double-double of her career.
Oh, that high post shot is there. And Syracuse back in a man-to-man right there.
Williams the miss from the free throw line vicinity. Number 13 team in the nation. Trying to snap a little 2-game losing streak. Losses to Georgia Tech and at home against Miami. That coming on Wednesday at the Carrier Dome. Three-point attempt. Lewis. Stratmana went down. Whistle stops play. That foul is against the Orange and Finkley. Just past 2:30 Eastern. Here in Durham, North Carolina, Cameron Indoor Stadium. Tom Wormy along with LaChina Robinson, former Wake Forest standout, and our outstanding production crew. The first of 2 on your regional sports network. Wake and Virginia to follow us. Jen Hildreth and Chelsea Shine, former Virginia standout, on the call for that one. Chelsea Shine was with me a week ago to watch NC State win in overtime against Virginia Tech. What an outstanding ball game that was.
Oh, man. And we were waiting to see what would happen in the matchup between those two teams. Could Wes Moore keep it rolling? And he absolutely did.
They're playing Georgia Tech today. Gurecki has the steal and the layup. 24 points, Haley Gurecki. The lead is now 10.
The question is, can Duke continue to get those kind of defensive stops? That 31 points in the third quarter really put a hurting on their defense.
Strautmana. And now the Orange 0 for 7 in field goal attempts this quarter. And Duke has the basketball, trailing by 10.
Haley Gorecki has been sensational defensively, being aggressive at the top of that Duke zone and getting easy opportunities on the fast break.
Gorecki 9 of 17 from the floor. Odom is playing with 4 personal fouls. Odom, baseline. Strautmana defended her well on the first chance, and then Odom recovered and puts it in.
Well, Duke is down at home, but Liana Odom said it's not over. Nice take to the rim, doesn't get the first one. How about the putback?
What's coming up next is we get a peek at those standings in ACC women's basketball with the Wolfpack and the Fighting Irish, both 6-0. And in action today, the Syracuse Orange at 4-2, and Duke trying to take out a ranked team for the first time this season as we play here at Cameron Indoor Stadium.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough matchup for Wake Forest. They are without Eliza Penna. At least they were in their last contest. Not expecting her to play today either. And keep in mind, they are still without Alex Sharp. So that is a hurting team for Jen Hoover.
It's a 7-0 run for Duke. The lead is now 7 off the fingertips of Strautmana, and Gorecki has it. And what an afternoon she has put together with 24 points to lead all scorers this afternoon. Ball on the deck. Monacahia dives for it. Arrow will favor Duke as she got tied up with Goodchild.
I like that baseline drive we saw from Odom. That zone is playing up so high. Duke can get some action offensively on the backside of that.
Duke had the lead by 5 at halftime. Orange went on a 15-0 run in the third quarter and took the lead as Williams drives and she gets fouled.
And that's where you can get some offense. Again, on the backside, on that baseline. Right here, as you attack the closeout, nobody home on that backside. They've got that zone kind of stretched out up high, so you can get some easy looks if you're aggressive.
Free throws 5 and 6 in the game for Williams, who's up to 5 points. Orange led it by 13 after the third quarter. Take a look at that score now. 53-48. Inside of 4 minutes to go in regulation. A 9-0 run for Duke. Jaldi Tabdi on the block double team. Goodchild grabs it. Whistle and foul on the play.
Quinn Hillsman saying why? Not a smart foul.
It's the second on Lewis. We went right down to the wire in the Dome last year. Could be headed that way at Cameron Indoor Stadium, a place where Syracuse has never won. Last field goal for the Orange came with 28 seconds left in the third quarter. Drummond dribbling out of that corner and attacking the basket. 8 points for Drummond. And Duke is taking a timeout. 2:50 on the clock here at Cameron Indoor Stadium. 55-48. entry. And it's Drummond making the move from the corner, LaChina.
Yeah, I mean, again, attacking the closeout on that backside. And the redshirt senior stepping up in a leadership position for Syracuse. It makes a big bucket. I mean, she's a great three-point shooter. I understand closing out on her, but a good decision by Drummond to get to the rim.
Gurecki tries a very difficult shot. And back to the Orange, who prior to the make by Drummond on that drive, LaChina, had missed 9 shots in a row and had gone 7.5 minutes without a field goal. They had suffered some significant drought shooting throughout this ball game, but maintained the 7-point lead with the shot clock at 10 from Anakahia. Her pass is stolen by Gurecki.
Got to use your pass fakes everywhere on offense because both of these teams are aggressive in their zone defenses.
Gurecki tried to find Williams in a congested area, threw it out of bounds. 19 turnovers for Duke, 20 for the Orange.
Yeah, back-to-back 4 offensive possessions for the Blue Devils coming out of that timeout.
And just 1:50 to go in regulation. Syracuse led by 13 after the third quarter. Shot clock to 7. Drummond trying to work out of that corner again. Manakahia, one look at the shot clock and hits the 3. Tiana Manakahia. Second 3 of the game for her. She's got 9 points, 2 for 2 from beyond the arc. Goodchild answers with the 3 for Duke. Double digits with 10 points now for Goodchild. And the double team on Strautmane. And it appeared that Quentin Hillsman was granted a timeout, and he was. 1:02 to go in regular 51. Orange, Manakahia lining up the 3 ball.
Well, Drummond off the bounce, drawing some attention, and this is just a clutch shot by Manakahia. Big-time play by a big-time player.
There was only about a second on the shot clock when she released it. And she's 2 for 2 on 3-point attempts and 9 points from Manakahia.
And we've seen Syracuse looking to dribble out the clock, so you're wondering, will Duke foul? Looks like they tried to right there.
Double team on Manakahia. She stepped through it. And Syracuse has called the timeout. So 47.6 seconds on the clock and 8 on the shot clock for Quentin Hillsman. And the Orange up 58-51. This game has gone back and forth all afternoon long. Kiera Lewis has had a career day, LaChina. 18 points and 6 made threes.
Yeah, it really came down to how Syracuse played in that third quarter. That was the game changer. That was the opportunity for them to get some wind beneath their wings. And it was behind the transfer from Ohio State, Kiera Lewis, who was good friends with Gabby Cooper. They both grew up in the Chicago area, played together, AAU. So she knew what the Syracuse program was about and is really starting to hit her stride with back-to-back games of career high, both in their loss to Miami and here this afternoon at Duke.
So Duke is already in the bonus. Each team has 1 timeout remaining, and Adams has picked up the foul. Duke outscoring Syracuse 12-6 this quarter. That was after the Orange outscored Duke in the third quarter 31-13. Syracuse scored 4 points in the second quarter. The changes of momentum in this game.
Yeah.
Amazing. And we've got more coming for you right behind us with Wake Forest and Virginia. Jen LaChina's here with me. Jen and Chelsea waiting at John Paul Jones Arena.
I was going to say, you trying to give me up over here, Tom?
Absolutely not. 4th on Williams. 7-point lead for the Orange. Manakahia. She's got the layup.
And I thought that Duke was going to try to foul. Got fouls to give.
18 times the double digits in scoring this season for Monacahia, who hit that clutch three-pointer, and then in close to the basket, she's got 2 more. Duke has called the timeout, trailing by 9. 33 seconds on the game clock.
Duke just doesn't look aggressive in what they're trying to do. I thought they were going to start fouling, but doesn't happen. And good backdoor cut off the denial by Tiana Monacahia, who has just continued to make big plays down the stretch.
11 points in the game, second in the second half. Impressive numbers. That number leads the Orange in scoring. Assists, top of the conference, and she does it all for Syracuse.
Yeah, I mean, and you have to credit her mindset in the second half because it was dismal in the first half. She has not had good games in the Orange's last 2 losses. So she came out in the second half, and she was more confident, but also Lewis, as we talked about, in the interior game. I mean, I really thought that they established the post play, and that has helped them tremendously in their balance.
7 assists also for Monacahia. Wake Forest and Virginia. Ivana Ratza for the Demon Deeks, a double-digit score and significant minutes this season. As Wake Forest is on the road at Virginia. That's coming up right after us. 33 seconds to go to finish this one. In regulation, Syracuse with the 60-51 lead. Orange won the meeting last year in the Dome, making 15 three-pointers along the way in that victory against Duke last season. Final 28 seconds. Odom is open and gets a soft bounce. 11 points for Odom. Duke needing to foul. Thought maybe they had a trap on the sideline in front of their own bench, and a foul is called. Syracuse still not in the bonus, however. And Syracuse into the bonus with that foul.
We talked about earlier that Syracuse is a good, a solid free throw shooting team at 76%. And Tiana Monacahia shoots it at 90% from the free throw line.
They are 9 of 12 as a team from the line after that make by Monacahia, up to 12 points. And make it 13. 10 points in the second half for Monacahia. Duke running out of time. Gorecki the runner. 26 points for Gorecki. That's just 3 below her career high of 29. This is going to be Cooper. Free path to the basket. And with 6.1 seconds to go, that could do it for the Orange. What a comeback after trailing by 5 at halftime. They take a 13-point lead after the third quarter, and Quentin Hillsman of the Orange have come to Cameron Indoor Stadium and won for the first time in 3 chances in this facility and on this court. 64-55 the final count.
Well, this gives Syracuse a lot of confidence because they won a low-scoring game. This is a team that averages 79 points per game on the season, and they beat a very good defensive Duke team with 64 points on the road. So hopefully they got some confidence in their ability to do that, but also in their defense. The Blue Devils only